Hey World Warriors, this is Bobo the Vulture. It's time for more Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. Tactical espionage action, press start button. We're gonna tone the difficulty down here a little bit. Back to the normal. And we're gonna start some more. We just got finished playing through as Ryu. As Sagat. So now I believe the last character we have yet to play as, that we haven't gone the whole way through the game with, is Ryu. So, let's pit him against Dalzim here. Yeah, the Hurricane Kick's pretty useless. More Turbo Hyper than I intended for it. Feel the Turbo Hype. That's right, that was one difference between Ken and Ryu. They started making, in Street Fighter 2, Ken and Ryu were 100% the same. 100% identical. In Street Fighter 2, like Champion Edition or Turbo, and some of the later versions of Street Fighter 2, before they got into, like, later Street Fighter games. Oh, hey, we're already having our mirror match. Now you can see what classic Ryu is supposed to look like. But in some of these later ones, the Hurricane Kick is slightly different. Ryu will knock down an opponent in one hit with the Hurricane Kick, whereas Ken will keep them up. Each individual hit damages less, but you have the opportunity to possibly hit them a bunch of times. And there we go. Just scraped past that battle with Ryu. Oh, and he's got a fat old cheek on him. You must defeat my Dragon Punch to stand a chance. He must possess my Dragon Punch to stand a chance, but then he did and still didn't win, so I guess that's not to say he didn't have a chance. Well, that went okay. Might have been a little bit of a boring fight. It was just throwing fireballs at E Honda. But we got a lot of life out of it. advantage of the Hadouken, last of an era. Yeah. You did quite well, but you need more training to defeat me. You know what, this is honestly the more efficient way to do it. But showing off trying to do Shoryukens a bunch. It's nice to be able to make sure that you can get them down pat too. Brazil.
Round one, fight.
That's silly.
You win.
But it worked. What are you gonna do? He blocks all those things, so he takes a little bit of block damage. Then you land in throwing range, and he doesn't do anything. Well, then. Owie, owie, owie. There is no gator totem. Well, alright then. There's a tourist back there taking pictures. Or maybe that's the official tournament photographer. There is indeed a snake in that tree. Plus, there's a snake in my boot.
You win.
It's not an animated snake. It doesn't have 2 frames of animation like all these people in the background. Except, of course, for the perfectly still people inside the cabin. But what are you going to do about that, right?
USA.
Go to the USA and see it in your Chevrolet. Hey there, Guile. Let's throw fireballs at each other for 99 seconds. How about it? You ruined my perfect. You piece of garbage.
You win.
I mean, I still win, don't get me wrong.
Round two, fight.
Eventually he just decided to give up and stop jumping over them. Kids these days with their phone cameras, there's a real man's camera. Well, you know what? When this game was made, there were no phone cameras. There were barely even cell phones.
USA. Round one, fight.
Yeah.
You win.
No, I mean, back in the 90s, the early 90s for that matter, I mean, I feel like most people were still working on film in the photography world. I think there was such a thing as digital cameras, but everybody getting that creepy stereo. Oh no, my Hadouken rate was slower than Ken. Oh, and he's showing up a little chest there for the ladies. Nice there, Ken. Or nice there, you. Subtle. Yeah, apparently you can't really get the hurricane kick working here. I thought you could, but it wasn't really working for me. Oh, that's just perfect. Perfect. China.
Round one, fight.
Ouch. This is the worst performance of Ryu's life. I'm stunned by Chun-Li's fireballs because I'm never expecting them to move as slowly as they do. They move slightly slower than everybody else's fireballs. And yes, you can have different speed fireballs depending on whether or not you use, like what strength of fireball, or what strength of punch button you use for fireball. Or kick button if it's a kicking fireball, although I don't think there are any in this game.
You win. Round three, fight.
There's a guy back there choking his chicken. And he's gonna choke it ever faster now that we are a victorious person. A victorious person is us. And it looks like our last of the regular opponents is going to be Zangief. Zangief. Alright, you got the first hit for free, Zangief. Wow, and he just walked right up. He just walked straight towards us and did a spinning pile driver, a move that requires a 360-degree rotation of the directional pad, which would cause you to both duck and jump. Keep your distance, weirdo. Yatta. I know, that was more Chun-Li's thing, but we've succeeded here as Ryu. Ryu is pretty much your generic main character hero of this game, although, you know, he was the sort of he was the one playable character in, I don't know, I guess you could also play as Ken. I thought maybe that was only for Wasn't this Chun-Li's first debut? Street Fighter 2, in general, was the debut for all of the characters in this game, with the exception of Ken, Ryu, and Sagat. Ken, Ryu, and Sagat were both characters in Street Fighter 1. Most of the other characters in Street Fighter 1 are largely forgotten beyond that, although I guess some of them have come back in later games, like Street Fighter Alpha, and so on. Like Birdie was a character in the original Street Fighter game. There's another guy, he's like the old Chinese dude with the beard that you'll see in some of the newer games. Oh man, I missed a barrel. You're not as good as Vega, Ryu. Which is why you'll never get the top score of boo.
Round one, fight!
Speak of Vega, and I shall receive. You'll never be as good at me as me at breaking barrels. You-do-do.
Round two, fight!
Vega likes to try and leap and maneuver backwards away from you, so if you have him trapped in a corner, sometimes he gets stuck and doesn't really know what to do.
Round three, fight!
And you can use that to your advantage. There we go. He is a rather cagey fellow. That's right, because he's in a cage. I got it. Did quite well, but you get more training to defeat me. Time to head down to old Thailand. Now this should be a battle that's fraught with all kinds of importance and stuff, but oh man, Scott's gonna get his revenge. This isn't the way the story's supposed to play out. Well, TK Bomber, the problem that... Oh, jeez. Problem that, no, Ryu let down the Buddha. Oh man, Sagat's so amused that he's finally taken his revenge against us. Not satisfied till I have the world's strongest title again, so I'm gonna... Sure you can! Alright, time to get on the classic red bandana then. This'll really get into his head. This is exactly how he looked in the first game. There we go. This is the match the guy was waiting for. That's right, with these clothes. This is the whole time. This is the real deal.
Round two, fight! Hadouken! Hadouken! Tiger uppercut! Hadouken! Hadouken! Tiger! Tiger! Hadouken! Tiger! Tiger! Hadouken! 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 Tiger! 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 Hadouken!
There we go. That was a little better.
You
Just be
win.
patient. And the match will come to you. But don't be so patient that you just wait for him to get you into a predicament through moving you around. That's the thing. Guys can move you around by
Round one,
hitting you with moves that you have to block.
you win.
You win! Look at you with your stuff blowing in the breeze. By which I mean your bandana ends and your belt ends, not any other stuff. And Bison still treats everyone like a Goomba, even when he loses. But man, there you go. 2 rounds to nothing on Bison. Well done. Now it's time for the generic ending. Sagat squats so that he looks appropriately short next to Bison. Where's the champion? Already seeking the next challenge. Ceremony means nothing to him. The fight is everything. And yet, here he is at the podium anyway. So they put up this image at the end of all of the ending scenes, but what the story seems to imply is that after the tournament is over, Ryu just leaves because he doesn't care about the tournament. He just cares about fighting. Yeah? So, let's think about this for a minute. That guy on the left, and Bison, he doesn't look particularly pleased. This guy on the right, Sagat, final boss, ultimate champion, everything else of the first Street Fighter game. Ryu, to the story, shows up, defeats him, gives him a literal scar, not just a, like, oh, I have mental trauma from this, like, literally scars him across his chest in a way that he will never be able to forget. He has a constant physical, visual reminder of his loss to Ryu. Next time the tournament comes around, alright, so, Sagat, he's here. He's going to get his revenge, right? So Ryu goes through the tournament, beats Sagat along the way, not a particularly big thing one way or the other. There's nothing, like, sort of special about the battle. Then goes on, defeats Bison, and after doing all of that, doesn't even have the fucking dignity to show up and properly accept his victory. It's just like after the tournament, it's like, well, alright, where's this champion? You know, like, he beats him again, and then he finds his victory so worthless. His like, oh, well, I beat you in this tournament, but this tournament means nothing to me. I'm just going to go wander off and do whatever. I mean, what the hell, Ryu? Ryu is the ultimate dick. Ryu is the ultimate dick. Just screwing with Sagat. Screwing with everybody. I'm gonna beat all you guys, and then I'm just gonna fuck off when it's time for the actual, like, ceremony at the end of this tournament. Doop de doop doo, because I could be better at you at street fighting, but I don't actually care enough about it to stick around for the, like, awarding of street fighting honors or whatever. Bye. I mean, really, Ryu. Really. And on that bombshell, I believe Boo will unfortunately stand as our top score, because I'm pretty sure I've played through as all of the World Warriors at this point, in video recordings for YouTube and live streams for Hitbox. So, what will be my next challenge? I don't know. I've got one or two other fighting games that I could play. I might just start a different game to sort of do in these sort of little idle hours. The nice thing about the Street Fighter games was you could do them in little tiny self-contained chunks. Just do a run-through as a character and then you're done. Of course, we did a bunch of those tonight, but it was nice. I could use getting off some stress. It's fun to just punch some people in the face. The guy who played Vega in the Street Fighter movie is Code Talker. I have special face covering Archaea. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, folks, this is Bobo the Vulture. This has been Let's Play Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. We got a couple of fail reels on the arcade mode, or on the arcade port for PlayStation 2. But the Super Nintendo one is the one that I sort of grew up with, so hopefully you don't mind too much that we spent a lot of time here. I enjoyed it a lot. Hopefully all of you did as well. It's funny they have the birth years of all of these characters. I think Ryu was born in 1964, which would make Ryu... Who's good with math? Anybody? Okay, yeah. That would put Ryu in his 50s. He could still be out there street fighting, though. Why not? Anyways, folks, this is Bobo the Vulture. This has been Let's Play Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in future exciting adventures. Bye for now.